Internet TV to the universe.
Log on to GVIEW.
12 o'clock in the night, on your phone. You gone to bed, you're sleeping. Everything in your household that was on, your radio, your television, have that sound. Your phone there, your bedside, it's not ringing, it just have this buzzing, annoying noise. It's called an Amber Alert. We did a test on that somewhere in January, midday, 12 o'clock. However, I guess nobody was thinking that this was going to be used that time of the night. 11-year-old girl was abducted. It was Valentine Day, it was yesterday. Her mom gave her to her dad to have Valentine dinner. However, there was a scheduled time for the dad to bring her back. The dad did not return the little girl back to her mom. Mom called the dad. He replied with a text message, says, I'm going to hurt this girl and I'm going to hurt myself. She forwarded that information to the police. The police then send out an Amber Alert. An Amber Alert, as I said, it goes viral.
Right. So the Amber Alert was created in 1996. And it happened, I believe it started in Texas for a child by the name of Amber that went missing. They also have one called the Adams Law, but we'll talk about that one after. And as you say, it's a broadcast system that, you know, when a child goes missing, it goes over all the networks. In 96, we didn't have the computers and the cell phones and all of that. So it used to just be in your car or on your TV.
Yes.
So now it's expanded to internet, your computer, your radio, your cell phone, and as you say, anything that has a signal.
Yes.
What were you doing when you got the first one?
I was actually laying down in bed.
And you?
I was on the road.
Yeah, I was on the road too.
I was on the road, and the car, I was listening to 680 News, and it coming in on 680 News. The whole burp, burp, this is an Amber Alert, and it tells you what it is.
Right.
And the phone went off at the same time, and I'm like, okay, this is nice. I found it very interesting. I was like, okay. But my first call, when it came over, it says that a little girl was abducted by her father.
Right.
And I'm like, stop, please, don't give me that. Because a lot of time, we as men
get the bad rap.
Get the bad rap.
Yeah.
Baby mama said, drop him off at 3. At 5 o'clock, we still up on the road at the picnic. I call us, well, you call me down for me. I'm picking up on the road. Don't stop calling me down, man.
Right.
Right. Right.
Unfortunately, there was another Amber Alert.
Right.
Again, after 12.
Right.
Which it was Peel Police that sent out the Amber Alert. They said, yes, we found the little girl.
Yes.
But they didn't say if she was safe.
Right.
About 3 a.m. in the morning, news came over that they found a little girl dead in her dad's basement. It was such a tragedy. It was
So
sad.
did that part come over the Amber Alert also, that they found her dead?
No. They said they found her, but they didn't say if she...
Right. So that was the last message that we all got, was that she was found.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit
I was just
Yeah.
confirming, because I wasn't sure if some people got it afterwards saying that they found her not alive.
Yeah, no, the Amber Alert didn't say
Yeah,
they found her dead.
Yeah.
They only said they found her.
So it's only used for when they're missing and when they've been found.
Yes, because they call it off.
Right.
So the second Amber Alert is going to say, Amber Alert is canceled.
It's canceled. Yeah.
The little girl was found.
And usually over the Amber Alert, you have a description of the suspect, a description of the child, where they were last seen, what they were last wearing, and if they're driving any cars that we know of.
Yes. So, yes, the Amber Alert worked. They found the dude. He was driving a Honda Civic, a 2006 two-door Honda Civic, silver, with such and such license plate. I can't remember the license plate. But they found him in Aurelia.
Right.
That's north of the city.
Right.
Which is, Aurelia is about an hour and a half drive.
At least.
Here from actually 6.
Yeah.
So he killed a little girl and he was already on the run.
Right.
But the Amber Alert worked because somebody that was driving innocently in their car heard the Amber Alert, looked in front of me and said, but that's the car.
See him
Yeah.
there?
This is the car.
Yeah.
They alerted the police. The police picked up trail and they got him.
The tragic part for me was, like I said, when I got the message she was missing, and then I got the message that she was found. And I was like, okay, I went to my bed. And then when I woke up this morning, I got messages on my phone saying, oh my God, oh my God. And I was looking, I'm saying, really? Like, and then to hear that it was the little girl's birthday, and then to hear it was the mother's birthday, both born on Valentine's Day. Like, that's heartbreaking.
It's definitely heartbreaking. I can't imagine what would possess someone to actually do that.
Are we going to say again? Are we going to go back to mental health issues?
I'm going to ask the producers for a little bit more time on this topic, right? Okay, we have to, talk more on this topic, because it's something that shook the community.
Definitely.
It definitely shook the community, and we have to talk a little bit about it. I personally, we're no form of medical doctor, but the first thing would come to our mind is he's crazy. Something is wrong with him, right? We're no medical doctor, so we're not trying to diagnose him. We spoke about it earlier.
Right.
When people start doing stupid things in this era of the millennium, we start saying, yeah, they're sick, it's depression. Everybody have their day in court. They charge him this morning for first-degree murder. So.
And the first-degree murder charge came because he had sent the threats to the mother. So they were saying first degree is premeditated, second degree is it happened, and third degree manslaughter is it was an accident.
Yes.
So in him sending those text messages, that gave them the authority to charge him with first-degree murder. And I'm saying, like, my thoughts were, can you imagine the little girl saying, "Daddy, please," or "Daddy, don't"? "Daddy, please," "Daddy, don't."
Yes.
Like, that's what really resonated with me.
He's such a coward too, because if he's gonna send a text saying he's gonna hurt her and then hurt himself, how comes he didn't hurt himself? Him coward, him chicken out.
Right. Yeah.
He chicken out, him chicken out. So.
And how can you, as a father, your daughter is your first love, or your first, your daughter looks at you and says, man, this is the first man in my life who loves me and takes care of me. That's who you're supposed to cherish and take care of, and you turn around and do something like this on her birthday. Right?
And then I'm saying the kids at the school, did she go to school that day? And then after school, so because I'm saying those kids are going to be severely traumatized, especially at that 11-year-old, that, you're just coming out of being young, and you're not quite a teenager. So this is something that you will remember. Yeah. Valentine's Day, my classmate died by her father.
Yeah.
Definitely so. And we're going to hold that thought just for a little bit. But on the reverse side, there's actually people now that called in back to 911.
Yes. Upset
about the Amber Alert.
Definitely.
How selfish did our community get? How self-centered? You're that now self-centered that you hear an Amber Alert. I mean, it's not going off once a week, once a day or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
It's once in every so long.
And the thing about it is annoying. So it forces you to look at it, because you're saying, what the hell is that? Like, what is that sound? What is that noise? But that is the point of it. It's supposed to annoy you to the point where you want to look at it.
Yes.
Or you want to look at it to pay attention, whether it's to close it, to exit out of your screen, but you want to look at it in order to deal with whatever situation.
But the unfortunate part, you see, this is the unfortunate part about it. It's not their child. And because it's not their child,
I don't care.
That is it, right?
In a whole.
And that's society. If it doesn't concern you, then it's annoying. It bothers you.
We're that self-centered though?
Some people are.
My thing was, when they called, did they know that the little girl had passed, or were they calling just with their annoyance? Because I'm saying, if you called prior to knowing what happened, bad and not so bad. But if you called after knowing that the little girl passed and you're calling to voice your annoyance, imagine what the mother is going through, the family is going through. That's the biggest thing. And you couldn't, you were pissed off. Yes, you were annoyed. You couldn't bypass that. You're going to call somebody now to complain. You better hope to God that you never need to use that service.
There was a man in London, Ontario, called in to police. He said, you should get rid of this thing. Yeah. I was watching my television show and it disturbed me. A television show. How long an Amber Alert goes for? It goes for probably 10 seconds.
If that.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
It was, you know, not to make light of it or to make joke, but I saw a promoter says, how do I get a hold of that? Because, you know, right now I could have used that fit promote my party to go to everybody. And I looked at that and said,
it takes serious things with joke.
Yes.
There was a lady on Twitter that tweeted that when the Amber Alert went off, it woke up her daughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Her
and
baby.
Woke up her baby,
Yeah.
and she's very upset by it. And I'm saying to myself, rock your child back to sleep.
They're acting like that's the first time they're going to ever wake up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wake up your baby, so put the baby to sleep.
Hope that all these people complaining, I hope to God you never need to use this service. I hope.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine all of these people that is actually talking? Yeah, definitely talking. Oh, you definitely hope to God that one day they don't need the service. When they actually need the service and go to the authority to use the service, they actually just tell them, I'm sorry, but that is not a form of something that we need to do an Amber Alert on.
But you know what the authorities should do, though? Take names of the people who call in. And when them need the service, it's denied. Blacklist them. Because if you're going to complain about something so important and vital, no, blacklist you. Just put an X beside your name. You don't need our services.
Selfishness is what it is.
Definitely.
Selfishness is at its peak. If you're gonna call into 911 and tell them to listen, can you guys just eliminate this thing, take my number out of the system when you guys are sending it? Like, people are asking for like the weirdest thing.
But not even that. They're calling into 911 to complain. 911 is for emergencies only.
Yeah.
Man, you're surprised on some stuff that people call 911
Definitely.
for.
But you see, those are the people who should then also be given the community service for wasting people's time.
I have a question, which is related, but so there was a news conference today where the police kind of gave an update on basically the timeline of how everything played out with from he picked up the daughter to the mother getting the messages to her going to the police station and reporting the messages. Now, the timeline that they gave, and the police, I feel like this is going to open a bigger investigation, because the timeline that they gave, the police were in contact with the mother at like around 7 o'clock or 6:30, whenever they after.
Because he was supposed to drop off the child at 6.
Right.
6 p.m.
Now, a lot of people are cussing and complaining now, saying that the police play a role or are somewhat responsible for what happened, because we got the Amber Alert at 11:30. where they knew that the child was missing from 7 o'clock. And I looked at it and I said, well, in this particular situation, to be honest, as much as we got the Amber Alert and all these things, it helped catch him, I don't think it would have saved her life.
Yes and no, because when did he send the text? Yes, he didn't show it up at his usual drop-off spot that was scheduled.
Right.
But yes, so how much time we're late?
But the problem is
we run late.
They found her at his house because the police went to his house. They went to his house a first time because the neighbor said they came and they were knocking the door. But when they went, like say around 7:30, the car wasn't there, so he was already gone. And they said that the police were knocking the door, but the police said they didn't have any evidence to state that anybody was in the house. So they couldn't kick off the door and run in. They just knocked the door. They waited. They looked in the windows and whatever. Didn't see anybody. Didn't see anything suspicious. So they left.
It's when when did the mother get the text is going to be the big deal. When did the mother get the text and when did the Amber Alert went out?
But again, all of that could still be a moot point because who's to say that he didn't already do something at that
That's
point?
what I was saying. That was my... I said...
when he
I don't
actually
think...
hurt the little girl.
Yeah, I don't think the Amber Alert would have helped in this situation. Like, because people are saying basically if you knew from 7 o'clock, if the police knew from 7 o'clock that little girl was missing, and obviously under the circumstances, everybody it's very raw emotions, and everybody that's a parent or that is connected to a child feels it a little bit deeper to say, if you know my child is missing at 7 o'clock, Amber Alert is supposed to go at 7:01 to make everybody look for my pitney, right?
But your child is not yet technically missing.
Right. And then you also have to give them reasonable doubt.
But imagine yourself going to the police station with these text messages that say, I'm going to hurt myself and hurt my child. And
well, definitely then you want to go to the police when you start getting those texts.
But imagine going there at 6:30 or 7 o'clock and then the Amber Alert doesn't come out to the public. Now, mind you, the police were doing their investigation.
Right.
But the Amber Alert didn't come out till 11:30. Which is where
there are some protocols that you have to follow, though.
But because parents aren't thinking about that protocols.
Yeah, but you know the authorities have to follow some. You can't just go up to the front desk and says, "Okay, I get this text, and my husband have send out a."
It could be a joke. Alert. It could be a
prank. But
it can be a crank. So
but realistically, thinking about that now, and we can never ever put ourselves in that situation. There's clearly a history between this person and the wife or the mother of the child, so the father and the mother of the child, for it to even get to this point, right? That you don't just get up one day and send that message out of the blue for no reason whatsoever. There's a history behind it.
But the authority they don't know that though.
So imagine you going to the police station now, and it takes 4 hours.
We know how they move sometimes. There's protocol that they have to follow, but we are not seeing that.
Exactly, I agree.
We're not seeing that. We're just like, I tell the man this and the man for just do that. But it's just like calling 911. We don't stray from it. But the 911 operator have you on the phone asking you a tons of questions and you're like, dude, the man is not breathing. Just send the ambulance.
What's he wearing? Where does he live? What's his last name?
So,
where's his mother?
Yeah, so they have to... There's some protocols that have to be followed. So,
but if there's a threat to life in a text message, do you feel that process is, one that should be maintained, or they need to re-look at that and say, you know what, maybe this is something where we need to change up a little bit? Because
I'm hearing what you're saying. Because it's a threat on life.
Right.
But there's a threat on life in text message like every 5 minutes.
But maybe
that doesn't mean people actually follow through with it. Because he could have, as a father, I can't even say he could have because he already did.
Yes.
But, it could have been where he was trying to just mount the mother and get underneath the mother's skin, because there's a lot of, the battling, and then he could have just dropped her off and then everything would have been fine.
But does that make it okay?
But you go to the police and then you would have wasted their time.
True, and it could also been one of those things where he's, as you said, joking around and spiteful. So they probably thought, when they went to the house, the child was not there. He was on the road with the little girl, right? And then maybe the mother said something to him that really sparked it, where he's like, you know what? Me dash her away and me gone about my business. Then everybody starts looking, and, then the Amber Alert really goes out at that point.
So, with that being said now, we're looking at it because we're talking about where society has reached. Somebody sending a text message, even as I can't even imagine
it's
the
not a
joking
joke,
part.
But people say stupid stuff, I want to say, sometimes when they're angry.
Yeah.
And text and put it on social media sometimes.
But it's just like when we used to go to the airport before 9/11, you could have talked about bomb, you could have talked about gun, you could have talked about anything you want to talk about. You go within 500 feet of the airport now and talk about a bomb and see what happens when you go inside, right? So it always takes something happening. It always takes the worst case scenario happening before we look at it and we re-examine it and say, you know what? Although this used to happen before and we used to say, boy, them things happen every day and we're not going to pray too much. This is the worst case scenario happen now.
Definitely so. This open doors to many discussion.
Definitely.
Right? Talking to some guys today, they're saying, okay, I have visit to my kids every other week, and some weekends I'm 12 hours late because the baby mama will call me about 6 o'clock on Sunday and says, are you dropping off the kid? And you're like, you know what, we're actually inside now watching a movie. I'll drop the kid off 7 o'clock tomorrow morning and actually drop him to school. I got clothes here and everything. And baby mama is saying, no,
carry him home now,
bring him home now. So, no, guys are actually saying, is this opening doors now for other things? Or is mothers now is going to feel definitely threatened when baby father, I don't want to say it, your child's father.
And then again, the spitefulness. Is spitefulness not going to be a factor where you can use this now and use the spite factor?
Yes.
Well, you know, I'm afraid for my child's life, so I'm not going to send them. Meanwhile, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the father.
Right, and that's to show you that the maturity level of, you know, these parents when they're having their kids, you know, they're not thinking about the child themselves and, you know, how this is affecting the child because they're thinking about the anger. And they're still angry, especially if you're the female, you're angry with the male. So now you're going to take it on him where he doesn't see the child anymore, right? So, I mean, it definitely has to be a maturity thing. Two individuals have to be mature enough to co-parent and not take, you know, things personal or be angry about things. Just let the children be the children.
Hard to do.
Definitely
and not
so.
everybody makes a good break. And sometimes, I don't want to say all Indian, but sometimes in the arranged marriage situations, when there's a bad break or when it ends and one person doesn't want it to end, it involves these custody situations. And then the kids get wound up in the middle and tragedy happens.
Well, definitely so, Althea, definitely so, Fine China. We can sit up here at GVIEWTV and talk till tomorrow morning on this topic because it's a very interesting topic, and I would love the viewers to just give us your thought. Tell us what's going on your mind about this Amber Alert. What's your take on it? How you feel? Subscribe, comment below. Just let's talk. Let's have a conversation about this.
And us here at GVIEW, we want to send our condolences to the family, and you know our thoughts and prayers are with you. Definitely.